Discover the magic of pruning. Transform your garden with just a snip. It's a gardening secret that's been used for centuries. But why do we prune? Well, it's a simple answer with profound implications. Pruning is all about creating beauty, promoting health, and maximizing productivity. Let's delve a little deeper. Imagine your garden as an artist's canvas. Pruning is your paintbrush, allowing you to shape and sculpt, creating stunning landscapes and mesmerizing focal points. It enhances the aesthetic appeal, making your garden a visual delight. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. Every snip and trim you make is a message to your plant, a signal that guides its growth and development. Pruning helps maintain a plant's health by removing dead or diseased branches, preventing the spread of plant diseases and pests. It's like a regular health checkup for your plants. Now let's talk about productivity. If you're growing fruit trees or flowering plants, pruning can significantly improve your yield. By cutting back overgrown branches, you're allowing more sunlight to reach the inner parts of the plant. This additional light stimulates growth and encourages more flowers and fruit. It's a simple step with a bountiful return. Moreover, pruning strengthens your plants. When you remove weak or overcrowded branches, you're giving your plants a better structure, making them more resilient against harsh weather conditions. It's like you're training your plants to be strong and sturdy. And finally, pruning helps in managing the size of plants, especially those growing in limited spaces. It keeps your garden tidy and your plants in check. It's an essential tool for urban gardens in compact spaces. So there you have it, the magic of pruning. It's an art, a science, and a labor of love. It's about understanding your plants, their needs, and their potential. Pruning not only enhances the beauty of your plants, but also their health and productivity. So, grab your shears, and let's start transforming your garden with just a snip. Knowing when to prune is crucial. It's all about timing. Let's take a journey through the calendar year, exploring the optimal pruning periods for various types of plants. As we navigate through the seasons, remember that pruning at the right time can significantly impact the health, growth, and flowering of your plants. Spring is a season of rebirth and rejuvenation, making it an ideal time to prune certain plants. For instance, early spring is perfect for pruning summer flowering shrubs and trees like butterfly bush and crepe myrtle. These plants bloom on new growth, so pruning in early spring encourages a flurry of new branches that will bear flowers in the summer. Next up, summer. Summer is the prime time for pruning spring flowering shrubs like azaleas and rhododendrons. These plants bloom on old wood, meaning the buds form on branches grown the previous year. Pruning right after their spring bloom allows them ample time to produce and mature new branches for next year's flowers. As we transition into autumn, it's time to put down the pruning shears for most plants. Pruning stimulates new growth, which can be detrimental as plants need to harden off and prepare for winter. However, late autumn or early winter can be the perfect time to prune deciduous trees. With their leaves fallen, you can see the tree's structure clearly, making it easier to make strategic cuts. Winter, the season of dormancy for many plants, is an excellent time to prune many deciduous trees and shrubs. It's also the perfect time to prune fruit trees, as the cold can help reduce the risk of disease transmission between plants. Of course, these are general guidelines and specific plants may have unique pruning requirements. Always research your specific plant species to understand their specific needs. To sum up, understanding the life cycle of your plants and pruning accordingly can help ensure healthy growth and abundant blooms. Pruning at the wrong time can result in fewer flowers, damaged plants, or even plant death. So it's worth spending a little time to get the timing right. Remember, timing your pruning according to your plant's life cycle ensures maximized growth and bloom. Now let's dive into the how of pruning. Pruning is more than a simple snip here and there. It's an art, a dance between you and your plants. Different plants require different techniques, so let's break it down. Starting with roses, one of the garden's most romantic bloomers. Thinning is the key here. Remove any weak or dead branches to allow more light and air to reach the heart of the plant. Moving on to fruit trees. Here, we employ a technique called topping. Cut off the top of the tree to control its height and encourage the growth of lower branches, resulting in more accessible fruit. Lastly, let's talk about shrubs. Deadheading, or removing old flowers, promotes growth and keeps your shrubs looking fresh and full. Remember, each cut is a signal to your plant. It tells it where to focus its energy and growth. With these techniques, you're well on your way to mastering the art of pruning. Good pruning starts with the right tools. It's like cooking. You wouldn't try to chop vegetables with a spoon, right? Same principle applies here. Each tool has a specific purpose, and using the right one can make all the difference. First up, we have pruning shears, the quintessential gardener's friend. These are perfect for snipping smaller branches and stems, giving you the precision you need for those delicate cuts. Next we have loppers. Think of these as the big brother to pruning shears. They're designed to handle thicker branches that need a bit more muscle. With their long handles, they give you the leverage you need to make those tougher cuts. Finally, we have pruning saws. These are your go-to for dealing with the largest branches. With their sharp, jagged teeth, they can make quick work of even the thickest branches. Armed with these tools, you're ready to tackle any pruning task. Pruning is an art, and like any art, mistakes can happen. It's a truth universally acknowledged by gardeners everywhere. But fear not. We're here to guide you through some of the most common pruning pitfalls and show you how to avoid them. First up is over-pruning. This is one of the most frequent errors, often made in the name of tidiness. While it might seem like a good idea to give your plants a drastic haircut, over-pruning can actually weaken your plants. It deprives them of the energy they need to grow and can leave them vulnerable to pests and disease. Remember, less is often more when it comes to pruning. A light trim might be all your plant needs to thrive. Next, we have the mistake of pruning at the wrong time. Certain plants are best pruned at specific times of the year. Pruning a plant out of season can interrupt its natural growth cycle and may even prevent it from flowering or bearing fruit. So, do your homework and find out the best time to prune your specific plants. Another common error is cutting at the wrong angle. An incorrect cut can lead to water pooling on the cut surface, promoting rot and disease. Instead, aim to make your cuts at a slight angle, allowing water to run off and reducing the risk of disease. Then there's the issue of using blunt tools. This can lead to jagged cuts and torn bark, which can stress your plants and leave them open to infection. Always keep your pruning tools sharp and clean to ensure smooth, clean cuts. Lastly, the mistake of neglecting to prune altogether. While it's important not to over-prune, it's equally crucial not to ignore pruning altogether. Regular pruning helps to maintain plant health, promote growth, and increase flower or fruit production. To sum it up, avoid over-pruning, know when to prune, make sure your cuts are at the right angle, keep your tools sharp and clean, and don't neglect pruning. Avoid these common pruning mistakes and you're sure to see a healthier, more vibrant garden. For those looking to take their pruning skills to the next level, here are some advanced tips. Pruning is much more than just cutting back overgrown branches. It can be a form of art, allowing you to shape your plants and trees to create a picturesque landscape. This is where directional pruning comes into play. This technique involves pruning branches back to a bud that is facing the direction you want the new growth to go. Over time, you can train a tree or shrub to grow in a particular shape or direction. Now let's talk about encouraging blooming. You might wonder, how can a mere snip promote more flowers? Well, by removing old or spent blooms, you redirect the plant's energy from seed production to new growth. This process, known as deadheading, can result in a more abundant and prolonged flower display. Next, consider the concept of renewal pruning. This is typically done on shrubs that tend to become woody and unproductive over time. By removing about a third of the oldest, tallest branches at ground level each year, you stimulate the growth of new, vigorous stems from the base. Also, keep in mind that different plants respond to pruning in different ways. For instance, pruning a rose bush is not the same as pruning an apple tree. Understanding the specific needs of each plant can make a world of difference. Lastly, timing is everything. For many plants, late winter or early spring is the best time for heavy pruning, as the plants are still dormant and it's before the new growth starts. However, there are exceptions, and it's essential to research each plant's preference. With these advanced tips, you can truly transform your garden into a work of art. So, let your creativity run wild and use your newfound knowledge to shape, guide, and rejuvenate your garden. Remember, pruning is not just a chore, it's a way to express your vision and bring it to life in your very own green space.